Yo, what is up guys, Gray here, and today we have got our week 11 battle of the BBR. We're going up against Steve, aka Magnitude, and his Milwaukee Sawsbucks. And for those who don't know who Steve is, he is the creator of Draft League format, the man, created the GBA, and I do believe that was like the first Draft League. For all I know, there could be more, like been ones before, but certainly he is credited with the creation of Draft League, so no pressure at all. Not to mention this is a kind of a must-win game for both of us, so it's going to be a tough one. But make sure to go and check out his channel. He's a really good guy, really funny dude, and makes great content. So make sure to go follow him. Link will be down in the description below, as well as all the coaches for the BBR. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. And with that out of the way, let's get into the team builder. So we're 5-5. He's 4-6. Playoffs at the moment is 5-5. There's 6 teams, I believe, that are all on 5-5, and we're having all very mediocre season, but we're just about somehow hanging on to playoff hope. So yeah, we're all saying that 5-5. Steve is just outside. He genuinely needs to win both to have any chance of getting into playoffs. So it's going to be a tough one because he's got everything to gain, nothing to lose. Is that the? I think that's correct. But let's get into the teams. We've got Dragapult, Ferrothorn, Lucario, Sylveon, Quagsire, Weezing, Zorok, Charizard, Claydol, and Manectric. It's a very scary team. He has Dragapult firstly, which I don't really have a switch into. Like, not many teams really do. My physical answer dies to Fire Blast, dies to Thunderbolt. My special answer, quote unquote, probably would be Vileplume. Again, that doesn't appreciate a Fire Blast at all. Things like Luxray could check a physical one, but not so much a special one. Even if it's like Banded, Adamant, Dragon Darts, then Luxray just gets to a code anyway after the Intimidate. Actually, it wouldn't be after Intimidate because I think it'd be Clear Body. So Dragapult is looking like a big threat to my team. It's currently 15-8 as well, so it has died a lot, but it's got a lot of kills. We have our... Well, we're going to attempt to try and check it. Ferrothorn is just going to be great for like setting up hazards against my team. Checks my Weavile pretty well. It checks things like the Rabombi like pretty much perfectly. Like, there's not a lot I can do, even though setup's +1. I die to a Gyro Ball. It takes like 50% from Bug Buzz. It can check in DD unless I click Mystical Fire. Like, it could be Ockerberry just for something like that. Weavile, of course, can have Low Kick. Keldeo, like if I click a Water type move and I'm choice locked, then obviously Ferrothorn can switch into that. It can switch into Goodra, okay, but then I could have a Fire move. I guess it can switch into Skarmory as well, but Body Press is a thing. So Ferrothorn, I think in this game it's probably going to be like Leech Seed, Hazard, probably Gyro Ball to hit my Weavile, hit Rabombi. My team's fairly quick, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Gyro Ball, maybe Power Whip to hit the Keldeo. Body Press as well is very much a possibility against my team. Lucario is actually pretty scary against my team. Depending whether he's physical or special, I do have, again, in quotes, ways to deal with it. But like with Dragapult, if it's special and I go into my physical check, then that's going to be a problem. If I go into my special check and it's physical, same issue. So I've got to scout what Lucario is if it does come. Sylveon, I have very few switch-ins. My team is fairly weak to Fairy to an extent. Like, I do have Vileplume, I have Skarmory, but neither appreciate a Mystical Fire. So similar situation to, I guess, last week and the week before, where a Fairy type is really strong against my team. So I'm definitely expecting that to turn up. Quagsire could show up for the Keldeo. Water Absorb or Unaware are both like valid options against the Keldeo. I would probably expect the Unaware set because I don't think he's worried as much about the Water type move as he would be just me setting up. Also, like, helps deal with things like Iron Defense Skarmory, to deal with Swords Dance Weavile, Quiver Dance Rabombi as well. I do get Energy Ball, so that's a bit questionable. Outside of that, I don't think it has like an amazing matchup. Weezing is a decentish physical check to my team, but like it just doesn't do too much to my team generally. It just doesn't do much damage. I just have to make sure that it doesn't have Toxic Spikes. I can't remember actually if I'm bringing Vileplume or not this week. I want to say against this team, probably not, but I don't actually remember. So we're going to see when we get through the team builder. That's quality. I'm just blanking on words. I have lost it. Let's get on to Zorok. Zorok could be annoying if it's like a Lucario or a Sylveon or a Theraphorn. Like Theraphorn, surprisingly, is a weird one where it can imposter into it or illusion into it. Not imposter, that's Ditto. Man, I am just not doing well tonight. Yeah, if it can illusion into Theraphorn, I'm more likely to taunt it with my Skarmory and... Oh, spoilers and bring us taunt and Skarmory. Yeah, I'm more likely to use taunt on it and he can hit me with a flamethrower, so I've got to be wary of that. Charizard, I don't think it's going to show up. It doesn't have a bad matchup necessarily. I think if it's going to show up, it'll be as Defogger, because he doesn't really have removal at all on his team. He could bring Claydol, but Claydol loses to Keldeo, loses to Weavile, loses to Vileplume, it loses to Indeedee to an extent, it loses to Rabombi. Like, I don't think Claydol's got the matchup, but I don't think Charizard necessarily does particularly well either. I guess it stabs hit Keldeo, Weavile, Skarmory. It's a few things. It's Rabombi. So it definitely could show up, actually. But if he doesn't bring either Charizard or Claydol, he actually doesn't have any removal at all on his team. And lastly, he's got Manetric, which is electric type, so it's a very strong chance that it's going to turn up because we don't have a ground type. I swear I say this every week. If you know what Cries they are, then that's a bit of a spoiler. But let's get into our team. First up, we've got our Keldeo with Flip Turn, Aura Sphere, Icy Wind, and Toxic. This is more of a supportive set, I guess, this week. It is not OHKO'd by a Adamant Banded Dragon Dart from Dragapult. It's not OHKO'd by a Specs Thunderbolt from Modest Dragapult. So it does actually take the hits kind of okay, and I can Icy Wind to get in enough damage to put it in Ice Shard range from Weavile, which is really, really nice because I desperately need a way of dealing with that Dragapult, and I think this is probably my best way of doing it. I don't think he's going to be able to run Adamant or Modest unless he's feeling kind of ballsy, because I can definitely run Weavile with max speed, and he has got to fear that because I would speed tie with his Dragapult. He might still just do it, because there's a good chance that I'm going to not run max speed Weavile for one, and also he probably doesn't stay in against Weavile regardless, so he might go for a Modest or Adamant. But again, we just kind of need to scout the set, and I feel like this Keldeo is probably not a bad way of doing that. The Toxic is really just there for things like the Sylveon and the Quagsire, both of which are able to switch into it. If he wants to go into Ferrothorn, then we can Aura Sphere it. We've got Flip Turn as well to keep initiative. So, for example, if he goes into Sylveon, there's probably a pretty strong chance he's either going to go for Heal Bell or Hyper Voice. I don't think he's got room for Heal Bell on his Sylveon this week. I think it may be more of an offensive bring, and that he runs like a choice specs or whatever. So we have got our check to that later in team. But yeah, I think that we're probably pretty free to Toxic and then Flip Turn against anything. I think the Quagsire I probably would want to check before I could click Flip Turn and see whether or not he's unaware, but I don't think it gives me much value. I'm probably better just switching hard into something else. Next up, we've got our Weavile, which is Adamant Protective Pads. Similar to last week, we've got a mon on my opponent's team that we really do not want to take Rocky Helmet, Iron Barbs, whatever damage from. Yeah, Ferrothorn does 50% if we hit it with a triple axle. So yeah, we just need to avoid that happening. We've got Knockoff because his team is fairly weak to Knockoff. We do need to watch out if his Lucario is around, because that does get justified and we don't want to give any boosts. But I don't think he particularly wants to switch it in on a Weavile necessarily. He might do. It can take triple axle, but it does take 50% from it. Ice Shard is obviously nice there for the Dragapult, and anything else that potentially is set up that we might be able to pick off at low health. Triple Axle just does a ton of damage to his entire team. Even the only thing that really wants to take the hit is a defensive Ferrothorn, and even then it's taking 40% or so from Triple Axle, so kind of nuts if he wants to switch that in. Power Up Punch is just there if we're in a situation where we can Power Up Punch and just sweep, but I think that situation is going to be kind of slim just because Lucario I think is a pretty solid bring against my team, and we do not live a bullet punch from that thing. So unless Lucario is weakened or gone, I don't think we can set up and necessarily just win. Ferrothorn will also need to be weakened, but things like Weavile should be able to just kind of poke holes through things. and make way for my late game win con. Next up, we have got the return of Karkol. He is back once again with Rock Blast, Will-O-Wisp, Stealth Rock, and Rapid Spin. This set is kind of just... I don't know. It was really hard to actually get a Karkol set that made sense against his team. I might regret not having fire coverage on this, just for his Ferrothorn as Lucario, because both of which could be switches in. Will-O-Wisp could catch a physical Lucario, and he doesn't necessarily want that. I think Ferrothorn as well won't appreciate being burned, because it's more chip damage. Stealth Rock is pretty free against his team. Like I mentioned earlier, Charizard and Claydol are his only two hazard removers, and if he doesn't bring over them, then we have got 3 hazards. And realistically, Karkol is also here as my Sylveon switch-in. Yet again, it is here to check a Fairy type. It does resist the 2 moves that I expect him to bring. If he has Choice Specs, then he's probably got Shadow Ball or Psyshock as well, but I'm definitely expecting the Hyper Voice and Mystical Fire at least. And then Wish Protect, it'd be the last 2 moves, just to keep his things like his Ferrothorn healthy, his Weezing as well, both of which kind of appreciate being at a good amount of health. Next up, we have got our Skarmory with Spikes, Whirlwind, Taunt, and Roost. No attacking moves this week because I felt like it wasn't necessary. The only thing that's going to shut this down is Zoroark. I think that's the only thing on his team with Taunt. I could be wrong. I may have misprepped in that sense, but Spikes, like with Stealth Rock, are very, very free, especially if he doesn't bring any removal. Whirlwind then just starts jumbling his team up. He starts taking hazard damage, and that's just basically free damage for me. And then Taunt is there to shut down the Ferrothorn if he wants to try and set up hazards in my face effectively. I can just set up hazard. I can taunt him and then set up hazards myself, and he doesn't really appreciate that too much. If he does bring Charizard, then I've got to be kind of wary about that, because my switch-ins are kind of a little weak to it. I still got Karkol, which pretty much guaranteed switch-in outside of anything but Scorching Sands and Focus Blast. Even then, I don't think we're too KO'd by it, so we should be good. Charizard is maybe something I've overlooked a little bit in prep, not going to lie. So really hoping we don't see it. And other than that, this Skarmory is pretty much just here defensively. If he tries to set up with Lucario, we Whirlwind. If he tries to set up with Dragapult, we Whirlwind. Same with Sylveon. He really can't set up particularly effectively on this. So there is that at least. And it is also my physical check to things like Lucario and a completely physical Dragapult, though I don't expect that to turn up at all. Next up, we've got a Assault Vest in DD with Expanding Force, Psyshock, Dazzling Gleam, and Mystical Fire. This set effectively hits his entire team for super effective damage, and with the Assault Vest, we are going to be just a little bit more specially bulky. If he runs Draco Meteor on Dragapult, then I'll be somewhat surprised, because I think he's going to bring Dragon Darts for Goodra, and I don't think he wants to necessarily lower his own special attack. So I feel like the worst we're going to be hit by that Dragapult is going to be like a Fire Blast, and we take that hit fairly comfortably with our special defense investment. We can also scare him out with an Expanding Force. It does a ton of damage, and it also does a good chunk to Ferrothorn if Ferrothorn wants to switch in. He has to be kind of wary, because Mystical Fire then kills it. This is why I don't want to be choiced, by the way, because I wanted to have the freedom of moves depending on what he wants to switch into, just to be able to click a button and get a kill, because his team is actually fairly slow outside of Manectric, Zoroark, and Dragapult, and Charizard, I guess. Indeed, he should outspeed everything else. It won't outspeed a Lucario if he's got a speed investment, because I want to make this very bulky, and I really hope that doesn't come back to hurt me, but I don't think he's going to know necessarily that I'm very bulky until he hits me, so we might be able to use that to our advantage. If he just clicks Close Combat, then we do drop, so we've got to be careful around Lucario. This thing is, Lucario is a big threat to my team, just generally, so I just need to be careful around that. And yeah, effectively, Indeed, he is just here to kind of start punching holes through things. Nothing on his team wants to take this on, and having the ability to switch up moves and be quicker than all of his defensive mons is just so nice for me. I got Psyshock in case he wants to set up with Sylveon, and yeah, other than that, we're clicking Expanding Force if Zoroark's gone. If he doesn't bring Zoroark, we literally can click Expanding Force for free, which is really nice. I think Zoroark is one of the more expendable mons on his team, just because I got things like Keldeo, I got Rabombi, and it doesn't necessarily break through things like Goodra and Vileplume very well. So I don't think Zorok's going to turn up, so Expanding Force could very well just be a free click against his team. And lastly, we have got our Rabombi with Choice Scarf. We are modest this week, I believe, with Bug Buzz, Moonblast, Psychic, and Baton Pass. Baton Pass is so I can lead off with this thing, and depending on what his lead is, we can play accordingly. He may lead off with Ferrothorn, in that case we Baton Pass and we go into something that immediately threatens Ferrothorn and go from there. If we, well, in fact, we can go into Carcol quite comfortably, go into Carcol on that Ferrothorn, and we just kind of go from there. This is my designated lead because it kind of prevents things like the Dragapult from leading. It prevents the Zorok from really leading. Depends entirely on what Dragapult say he's running, of course. He could be Choice Scarf Dragapult to outspeed a lot of things on my team, but I just don't think that's necessarily a great bring against my team, especially because I got Weavile. But looking at this matchup, I think our game plan really is to try and weaken the Dragapult. It's arguably his biggest threat on his team. Once we've dealt with that, we've got things like Lucario and Sylveon that could be a problem. Charizard is not going to be easy to take on, but I think if he brings it, it'll be potentially a defogger, and if it's not defog, then our hazards are just going to do so much damage to his team. But the game plan is effectively hazards, and then try and get Keldeo, Weavile, and Rabombi in to just do damage, and DD to do damage as well. Fairly offensive build this week, and I'm really hoping that doesn't come back to hurt me, but at the same time, I think we should be alright. And we're about to play this game, so I will see you guys there. Okay, so here we are with the battle against Steve, and we're going to press A. I'm definitely expecting Lucario, Ferrothorn, Dragapult. No Lucario, that's great for me. He does bring the Charizard, so he does technically have removal. He brings Quagsire, Manectric. What else has he brought that's potentially a threat? Okay, so Manectric is obviously going to be a bit of a problem for my team. Kind of wish I brought Goodra now. Just looking at this team, like Goodra would have been fantastic, apart from the Dragapult, of course. I think my lead is still going to be Rabombi. I think that's just always my lead. And I think we then go from there. The Charizard could be a bit of a problem. I'd have to go into my my Carcol. So I'm glad that I have Rock Blast, because against this team actually it's not too bad. New Lucario is great for my Indeedee. It means that it's speed creep that was kind of risky, I'll say, works out for me relatively well. I did have the thought that actually potentially it could be U-turn on his Dragapult, which would probably do about half to me, so I've got to watch out for that. But we'll just have to see what set he is. Like honestly, Dragon Darts could probably just kill me. So there's also that. I think during my team builder, for some reason, I thought maybe it was maybe it was a fairy. I don't know, but I did even mention Dragon Darts. That would do quite a lot of damage to me. He's going to lead off with Dragapult, so that is ideal for us. I don't think he wants to stay in particularly, but at the same time, I absolutely don't want to give this just a free turn to do whatever it wants. If I was to Moonblast, I could go into my Carcol straight after if he goes into Ferrothorn. So yeah, I think Moonblast is fairly safe. If he decides to stay in and just click U-turn or so, then yeah, we get a good amount of damage. This actually might just Oko Dragapult, as it does. Okay, his biggest threat is down turn 1. That's fantastic for us. Okay, that's a great start. Scarf Rabombi, I think only if it was modest could it actually kill a Dragapult. So that's kind of nuts. Let me have a look. Yeah, I think it had to be modest for that to work. And I'm just going to go straight out into my Carcol here. Because if he wants to set up the rocks or the spikes or anything like that, then we can try and prevent that. And he has to be like fearful of the fire move. So I think I kind of want to set up my own rocks first and then click Rapid Spin, because his spin block is gone. So that's just amazing for me. What does he have again on his team? He really doesn't have a whole lot to actually break this Carcol now, which is just beautiful. So yeah, I'm going to click Stealth Rock. If this has taunt and outspeeds me, that's kind of wild, but I don't know if Ferrothorn even gets taunt. I'm pretty sure it gets taunt. So he's going to stay in. Maybe it's got Bulldoze? Got Body Press. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's going to do quite a lot. That is almost going to Oko me. That's a crit, okay. It's unfortunate. We do get a Flame Body though in return. This may be a bit of a mistake just because it's my best check to things on his team. I think I just want to spin, but then he does just kind of set up. I can bring this back in at some point. I kind of just want to go into Skarmory and taunt this. I have no way of removing hazards. I'm kind of surprised that he stayed in just because the fire move may have come in. I think I just want to rapid spin here. No, actually I don't. No, that's a bad play. At this point, actually, I can't rapid spin, so I probably should have spun first. I'm just going to go out into my Skarmory. I just had the thought that, you know, less than ideal to rapid spin when he's probably just going to set up rocks again here. Or he's going to withdraw. I could have rapid spinned. It's unfortunate as he actually goes out into the main electric. Yikes, that was unfortunate. It does take rocks damage at least, but there is no way I can stay in here. Taking a page out of Seabad's book and getting this main electric in every chance that he can, I expect. Do I just want to sack this? I don't think I want to sack it just yet. You know what? If he's got defog, he's going to click defog and remove him for me, so I really don't have another switch into Manectric, unfortunately. But it would mean that I get the offensive momentum back if he goes for a Volt Switch. He doesn't, he goes for Thunderbolt. That is fine by me. I can actually get Ndidi in now. And he didn't bring any checks. I believe he didn't bring any checks to Ndidi on his team. We should absolutely be able to take this hit just fine. Because we are Assault Vest. Manectric. Specs. Yeah, we take this hit just fine. He doesn't have a switch in. Like, his one switch in is Ferrothorn, and that dies to a Mystical Fire. So, yeah, I'm just going to click Expanding Force. And he can go into Ferrothorn if he wants to. If he wants to give me Manectric for damage, that would also work. I do have to be careful because I'm losing my checks to Sylveon quite rapidly. And that's not great for me, so I need to make sure I keep this Ndidi as healthy as I can. He just goes for Thunderbolt. This should not do that much, and I should be able to knock it out with Expanding Force, or at least do like a very, very good amount. We are going to just take it down, so that's one of his threats gone. One of the many. He really doesn't... he does have things to switch it into Skarmory still, but once the Charizard goes down, I think we're in a pretty good place. But I also need to keep this as healthy as I can because Sylveon is still a problem. Especially if it is Calm Mind. He goes out into Ferrothorn. Ferro... Utility, if it's probably taking a Mystical Fire, so do I want to take this opportunity to set up spikes? I think that's what I'm going to do. Like, if he's got spikes, then this hazard stack is going to be really annoying. But I think he wants to get rid of my Ndidi here, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a Body Press. He goes for Leech Seed. We could have just Mystical Fired. We actually avoid it. I'm sorry. That sucks. But here I'm just going to click the Taunt, because I don't want him to Leech Seed, I don't want him to potentially use Spikes either, if that's what he's got. And, yeah, I just don't want him to be like seeding me or anything like that. And if he switches into Charizard, you can't defog at least. which, you know, kind of works for us, kind of doesn't. Maybe should have just Whirlwinded there and got rid of this Charizard, because it's a little bit annoying. I could have also set up spikes on that turn, but it is what it is. What do I not need so much on my team now? What has he got left? I know my Keldeo doesn't outspeed this Charizard, and pretty much every time Weavile comes in now it gets a kill, so I need to probably try and get Weavile in as quick as possible. I really want to keep things around, though. I'm going to go into Keldeo. Like, you can certainly predict this and go for the flying type move. Like, that's entirely possible. So, no, he just goes for Flamethrower. I don't expect him to necessarily want to stay in here. Don't know if we can get much information from that, actually. Keldeo, Charizard. I'm going to assume not Specs. Flamethrower. No, it doesn't look like Specs kind of damage. So I'm going to throw off a Toxic. Expecting either the Quagsire or the Sylveon to want to come in here, so Toxic will be just amazing on both of them. As he goes out into the Quagsire, that's fine by me. I can actually go out into my Skarmory and set up spikes here. So I don't believe there's anything that realistically he can do. I could flip turn here just to see if he is unaware or not, but I'm not sure what I'm really gaining from that. So the Psychic Terrain goes away, so we can click Ice Shard again with Weavile, but I think at this point it's the fastest thing on the field. I think that might be Choice Scarf Charizard, not gonna lie. But I'm gonna go back into my Skarmory. You can certainly read that if he wants to, but I think Keldeo is a bit of a problem for his team. He may just stay in. As he does. He goes for Yawn. That's a little bit annoying. I think here I just want to set up a Spike. I think I just want to get a Hazard up. Because I think that's like my best way of dealing with Sylveon, is just to get good chip damage on it, put it in range. So we will fall asleep, but he can't put anything else to sleep. And Skarmory, honestly, is not attacking, so I'm kind of fine with that. He's going to withdraw. I could have played aggressively there, but I didn't feel like I necessarily needed to. We'll see whether or not he is defog here. I think he may be Choice Scarf though. No, not Choice Scarf, he's got Heavy Dew Boots. What am I talking about? There's a chance that he just defogs. Yeah, there's a chance he just defogs here, but honestly, I just don't want to risk it. Do I feel comfortable enough? Nah, I really need to keep my Indeedee around. I don't want to make the same play into Keldeo just on the off chance that he does have like Air Slash or something. What am I keeping this around for? It's got a layer of spikes up. Ferrothorn can be annoying, but I don't think it's going to be too bad, especially after a spike it should die. So yeah, I'm just going to stay in and see whether he wants to go for an Air Slash or a default. Let's for a Dragon Dance. Ooh, that's scary. Should not have stayed in. That much I can absolutely tell you. Do I lose to this Charizard now? That's kind of annoying that we didn't get back into range. What do I do? I've done a turn. If I lose Keldeo, do I lose to this? What am I keeping Rabombi around for? Honestly, Rabombi is the most expendable thing. And it will outspeed this, unless he sets up again. So we can definitely get some chip damage off. As he is just going to go for Flamethrower. That's fine. We should be able to take a hit from this Charizard with our Keldeo. I think I just want to Toxic that as well. Yeah, I think that's probably my play. This Charizard's definitely scary. I definitely under-prep for it. Like, having a water move on this would have been fantastic. I could also go for an Icy Wind and just lower its speed. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. This goes for Aerial Ace. That might kill me. Okay, we're living. We're living. Just. This Charizard's definitely proving to be a bit of a problem. I don't think we actually outspeed it now. But honestly, I don't have anything else to switch into this. So I'm just going to go for Toxic. Because if we do outspeed it, then... okay, we do. Then at least, like, I know put this thing on a timer. It just goes for Aerial Ace again, that's fine. As long as we have Skarmory around, we can't lose to Ferrothorn. But, I mean, I don't think Weavile is doing enough here. That might be the issue. I would have to hit all 3 times with Triple Axle. That seems fairly risky, but I don't think I've got any other play. Like, I think I have to click Triple Axle and just hope that I get all 3. I think we lose if we don't get all 3. Fairly simply. He may choose to switch out as well, but I think it's in his best interest to stay in and hope I don't get all 3 hits. Like, again, this is like a roll. Okay, he does switch. Probably into the Ferrothorn. Yeah, with protective pads just for this. So after Spikes and Stealth Rock, this is certainly not doing enough. So we're going to get this same animation. Can we hit 3 times? We can hit 3 times. Effectively, I don't want to bring my Skarmory back in. Judging off that damage, I want to say that's definitely defensive. Knockoff 28 to 34. Do I think that's doing enough? Oh, that looks so incredibly close. Man, I think I gotta click Triple Axle again. I think I gotta click it again and hope that I get all 3 again. Oh, we got 1. Please, Weavile, don't let me down. Got 2. Come on, 1 more. Okay, we got all 3. Whew, that was scary. That was definitely scary. It's like, I could have knocked off, but like looking at that damage, I don't know. It looked like a very odd kind of roll, and it was not one that I was necessarily wanting to take. So I can definitely go Sylveon here. Do I lose if I lose Weavile? Like, there's no way that I take out the Sylveon. That's like the main issue I have. There's no way I take it out. Do I take it out? If it's just max HP. What's he got left? Charizard, Quagsire. I can probably beat Charizard with my... maybe with my Indeedee. I have, like, risked this far too much. If he is defensive, then there's no chance that I take this out. It does 75% min if he's just max HP. You know what? I'm going to trust in Weavile. Please don't let me down. That looks very defensive. That's a crit. And we don't take it out. And he's absolutely going to take us out with Viper Voice. Maybe I should have sat Skarmory there. Maybe I should have. But I want to say Indeedy's got this. That may have been a very rash play for me to have taken. We take rocks if we come in. I think we might be in range. Sadly, I think we might be in range of Aerial Ace. After rocks. I want to say that we probably are. That's very unfortunate. That's... yeah. I should not have sacked my Weavile there. That was not the play. Yikes. I'm just going to click Expanding Force. Like, he can still choke. Like, he could still technically choke. But I don't think he's going to. I think losing Weavile just lost me the game there. It's really unfortunate. He was very defensive on his Sylveon. I didn't expect him to be that defensive. Well, that sucks if we lose to it. Like, in the end, I just did not prep properly for Charizard. Fairly simply. I definitely need to keep that Weavile around for Charizard. So that was a big misplay. Sends out the Quagsire. He's taking spikes, and he's probably especially defensive on this Quag, I would have thought. If he's defensive, he's maxed especially defensive. Right. I don't think I take an Aerial Ace. Like, that's the main thing. Like, I don't think I take an Aerial Ace in any world. Do I just want to go into my Skarmory? Do I just want to go into my Skarmory? I don't see any way of me actually winning this unless he is... You know what? I'm just going to click Expanding Force. It's pretty rash again, but I think regardless he kills me with Aerial Ace. So I think I've got to go for it. And we're going to just narrowly miss out on the kill. That sucks. Skull's going to do nothing, but it's certainly going to be enough to be in range. If only I had some way of recovering health on this Indeedee. No, don't run. Yeah, my Joy-Con's fucking up all over the place. Yeah, just click Expanding Force again. I think we're going to lose this one 1-0. Which really sucks, because we don't have an attacking move on our Skarmory. So there's nothing we can do. Literally nothing we can do. Like, we're going to be outsped by Charizard, because we just don't have enough speed to outspeed even no speed Zard. But I want to say from that point, Aerial Ace killed me regardless. So yeah, good game to Steve. He definitely played that Charizard well. I should not have stayed in on the turn that I did. That was just way too risky. Effectively just kind of gave up that positioning. Unless he is like minus speed nature. He's Dragon Claw. So yeah, it's going to do enough. And unfortunately we are going to lose. So yeah, good game to Steve. I'm not going to roost. I could roost stall, but I don't think it's going to save me anything. This is surely doing too much damage for my Skarmory to be able to live. Like, maybe I could have switched between the two Mons and somehow won that way. But, like, yeah, this is a good game. Like, I don't think we even live one Flamethrower. Wow, we actually did. We woke up, we're going to roost, but it's not going to make any difference. Because unfortunately we aren't going to be able to stall out long enough to be able to win this game. I think I didn't play this one well. This is arguably, like, one of the worst games I played. Again, like, the turn 1 was so nice to get rid of Dragapult. But, yeah, I just played way too fast and way too aggressive with my Weavile. I should have just gone into Skarmory, pivoted. Because honestly, Skarmory was doing nothing for me the rest of this game. So, that's on me. It's unfortunate, but yeah, we're going to go down 1-0 to Steve. I think at this point we can pretty much just safely say we're not making playoffs. So yeah, good game to Steve. And we're going to move to 5 and 6. I want to say like -5 now. And even if we beat Jason Diatite in the last week, then we're still like waiting on other results pretty much to be able to get into playoffs. So I think that can pretty much conclude our playoff hopes for the season. But, you know, Steve, I did have fun. If you were watching, I had fun. I'm annoyed at myself for staying in that Weavile. Like, realistically, I think just going in DD there was probably the play. But, you know, it happens. It happens. Weavile probably just cleaned up the game, so I misplayed. It's on me. But anyway, good game. And if you did enjoy the battle, then make sure to like and subscribe. So you don't miss out on the last game of the season. If we do miraculously make playoffs, I don't actually think it's mathematically possible anymore. But if we were to, then yeah, you can obviously catch those videos as well. But until the next one, have a great day, guys.